Hey guys, Music Breakdown here, reviewing the new Pixies album, Head Carrier. So, Head Carrier is the 6th studio album by Pixies, or I guess you could say the 5th. Indie Cindy could be counted as a compilation album, but I count it anyway. And so does the band, but regardless, it's the 6th major release by Pixies, and the 2nd major release by Pixies after their reformation. Now, I did an artist retrospective on these guys a while back because Pixies is one of my favorite bands. Surferosa, Doolittle, Bossa Nova, Trompe Le Monde, 4 of the best alternative rock albums ever made. This band basically had a perfect running streak during its short-lived period from 1987 to 1991. So of course that's counting Come On Pilgrim, which was their first EP. Or LP, depending on how you look at it. Anyway, now that they're back, most Pixies fans have not been excited. And I'm in that camp. At the end of the retrospective, I talked about Indie Cindy and I said, I don't like it. It's not a good album. It's overproduced. It's just, the songs are bad. Frank Black's singing is bad. You know, whatever. And most people tend to agree with me that Indie Cindy just wasn't all that special. And I said at the end of that video that if Pixies was gonna make a new album, I wasn't sure whether I was gonna be excited for it or not. Well, when I heard their first single to this album, Chugga came out, I wasn't really excited. I mean, I checked it out, and I was ambivalent to it. And then Talent came out, and Tenement Song, and I was ambivalent to those songs too. And from these singles, I could tell that Pixies were trying to improve on Indie Cindy. They heard the critiques, and they wanted to make something better. I can tell. They clearly intentionally made this album much grittier than Indie Cindy, and Indie Cindy was trying to be like basic, like pretty indie alternative rock kind of stuff, and it sucked. And everybody called them out on it sucking. So now they went back to more of a Trompe Le Monde type sound almost. Very gritty and incredibly distorted guitars, sometimes crosses over into noise rock territory, and all that stuff is great, and I'm really happy that they're trying to better themselves after this reformation. And I can tell they're going in the right direction. I mean, Head Carrier is a step in the right direction from Indie Cindy. The question is, are they back to being a good band? And the answer to that is simply no. Because while Head Carrier is trying to better itself from Indie Cindy, it still contains the single biggest problem with Indie Cindy: overproduction and poor mixing. Despite the fact that these songs sound really gritty and distorted and noisy, it's still produced like Indie Cindy was. Everything is mixed incredibly loud, meaning that whenever they want to mix something louder than everything else, be it the vocals or certain guitar solos, they have to crank it up so loud that it completely drowns out all the other sounds. And the vocals sound horrible. They don't sound like they're a part of the music, they sound like they're jutting through the music to try to fight their way to the top. And every time the vocals will stop, like after he's sung one word and there's a slight tiny little break, it sounds like the vocal track just ends because it's jutting through everything else. It's a really dreadful mix yet again. Really dreadful. Like, Pixies seem to be struggling to place modern production techniques into their music, and it just isn't working. And the sad part is, too, that most of these songs are better songs than Indie Cindy's songs, but there really aren't any great tracks here, because the best songs on the album are weighed down incredibly by their terrible mixing. Now, one other positive I forgot to mention, however, is they got a replacement for Kim Deal. Her name is Paslin Chanton, and she's a new female bassist and vocalist to the band. Now, a lot of people were upset that Kim Deal wasn't in Indie Cindy, and they said that was one of its main flaws. Now, I love Kim Deal just as much as the next Pixies fan, but I don't really think that was a problem with Indie Cindy. I mean, Kim Deal already started to lose her influence by Bossa Nova and Trompe Le Monde, and I love those albums. You know, she's great, and she made albums like Doolittle and Surferosa so special, but you don't necessarily need her. That being said, having that dynamic duo of Frank Black and a female voice was always interesting, and it's cool to see it return. And Paz is actually pretty good at playing off of Frank's voice. On the track Chagalaga, I think she does a great job, which, by the way, Chagalaga grew in me quite a bit. The first time I heard it, I was kind of ambivalent, but it's definitely my favorite track off this album. I love how just crazy it is. It is so nuts. The problem is that it has another dreadful mix. It might be the only song, however, that I can attempt to totally look past it and just have fun, because the song is crazy. And I just love Paz screaming in the background sometimes. However, Paz is not as good of a singer as Kim Deal, not even close. There's one song in here where she has to hold her own. It's called All I Think About Now, correct? Yes, All I Think About Now. And she can't hold her own. She doesn't sing very well. But it's not just that she doesn't sing very well, it's also the production on her voice that's just awful. But she's not terrible. It's cool to have another female vocalist in the band. And I mean, some of these songs are catchy. I had Una stuck in my head for a while, but the actual song itself, I can't get myself to like. It got stuck in my head, but the song is mixed horrendously. Honestly, the vocals are just cringeworthy. The amount of cleanness in these vocals makes me cringe. It's really painful sometimes to listen to. It's hard to explain why it's so cringeworthy, but if you took a listen to like Tenement Song, I think you'd figure it out. Talent was the second single, and that's actually probably my least favorite song. This is so nothing. Like, this is such an unwritten song, and like the vocal melody on it is so boring and bland. It's just, this song just, ugh, gross. There's the track Bow's Back, which shows Frank Black trying to recreate his scream he used to have. But I can demonstrate why this song is not good just by playing you some of my favorite Frank Black screams and then contrasting them to this track. The only songs I like, and I only moderately like them, I like the song Head Carrier. I think it feels kind of unfinished, like I'm going down the drain as the hook doesn't really work. It seems like it's more of a pre-chorus and then the song just doesn't really go anywhere. But I like it okay. Might As Well Be Gone I also like okay. I think this one sounds nice with Paz and Frank Black singing together. So that's pretty cool. Bel Esprit is also pretty decent. And Chugga like I mentioned, I like that one a lot. But other than that, it doesn't impress me. This is another middling release. I'm probably never going to put this on again. Look at this cover art. I mean, I know this is irrelevant, but seriously guys, fucking get into aesthetic. Your aesthetic for this album in Indie Cindy, just your modern aesthetic is terrible. Please make better looking things than this, because no one's gonna see this in a store and want to buy it, although I wouldn't suggest they would anyway. You know, after Indie Cindy, I wasn't excited for a new Pixies album, and I wasn't excited for this, but after this, I actually am excited to hear where they're gonna go next. It seems like they're stepping in the right direction. What they need to do is they need to get better fucking production. They need to get much better production. Produce their albums like they used to produce them. It's just that they had a more roomy feel. That's what this kind of music needs, especially Surferosa with Steve Albini's production. And also put some more time into some of these songs, because these songs are kind of unwritten. Better than Indie Cindy in that regard, but still. And I am convinced they can make another good album. So, and you know, give it 2 years again, they might drop another release, and I would be looking forward to it, hoping that it will be better than this. So I give Head Carrier a mediocre 5.25 out of 10. While it's not a bad release by any stretch of the imagination, and it is an improvement over Indie Cindy, this is still not the Pixies that we know and love, and I'm hoping for something better. Bye, guys. That's the way.